Hello, we are back. We are back in Europe, visiting Lenneke Kuijer, apologies, in Eindhoven, in the Netherlands. It's very nice to have you with us, Lenneke. Could you tell us and our viewers, who you are, where you are, and what you do?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's nice to have you over here. I'm actually in Utrecht, the town where I live, because I'm working from home today. But I work in Eindhoven in the Department of Industrial Design as an assistant professor. And yeah, I guess that's what I do and where I am.
Very well. And our conversation is all about practice theory and the people who are working with this theoretical framework. So we are very, very curious, how and when did you first encounter practice theory?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that in preparing for this visit. And it was in 2008 when I was just starting my PhD at the TU Delft in the Netherlands. And I was a participant in a study organized by Kaki Scott. She used social practice theory as a framework to think about how design might look at the resource intensity of everyday life from a different angle. So that's where I first encountered it.
Mm-hmm. And what attracted you to practice theory?
Yes. So what I really liked about it is how it was so closely connected to everyday life and the nitty-gritty details of how things are done. How it was able to deal with and incorporate messiness while still bringing some order into it. I also really liked its radicality. So in the study, we were asked to shower in a different way or to wash ourselves in a different way. And it was really different from, for example, putting a timer in your shower, but it was really about creativity in everyday life. And I really, really liked that. And I guess particularly also how it challenged norms and taken for granted ideas of what we should be doing or what was impossible for people to do.
It's very interesting. I think it's the first time that somebody is calling practice theory radical. That's super interesting, but I'm gonna let Elizabeth to follow up on that. Thank you so much, Lenneke.
Okay. Oh.
Elizabeth, you are muted.
Sorry, there was some drilling going on. Yeah, it's really good to know it was 2008. I don't suppose you can remember what month or day you first met practice theory, but maybe
No, it must have been the fall or something.
No, yeah. Okay. But your account of what attracted you was very practical, and I'm interested to know a little bit more about what ideas were attractive. I mean, you said it was radical, but what are the concepts that you really either that you found exciting in 2008 or that you're working with now?
Yes. So I'm not going to say elements, but of course that is really important. But I think it was the unit of analysis. So I really like how it's broader than, as designers, we are used to looking at users and their interactions with things. So that's really this thing person unit. And then there was, of course, the big scale. Societal change. We need a different economic system. We need to transition. And for designers, that is just very abstract. So I think this unit of the practice as the unit of change is really a useful concept. And then, of course, the elements are also helpful, particularly because with the three, the bubbles, the one you see behind you, the the materials, which of course is the home of the designer, what they are familiar with, are linked to norms and meanings and skills. So, and that is really new. So or that was very new. I mean, by now it's more common, but especially this idea of norms or meanings or ideas of what is normal to do as part of the design and as part of what changes, that is really new for design, because it's often seen that, okay, design is there to meet needs. And actually, this really shows clearly and makes instrumental that needs are part of what is being designed.
So do you think design has changed as a result?
Some have. Yeah, I think it really helps. It gives handles, and I'm teaching and I'm interacting a lot with design students in our department, and I think this idea of needs as changeable, that's really still an eye opener for them.
For them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about for you? What's exciting still, if anything, about the ideas that you're encountering, or how practice theory has changed or keeps changing? So where are you with that?
Yeah, good question. I can't say that I stay fully up to date on what's happening in the practice theory literature. So I use it mainly, and I try to stay up to date by engaging in different communities, going to conferences. But my main community is the design community. And so I have been, when thinking about concepts, I have been using this idea of practices as a unit of design a lot. And that's what I already developed years ago during my PhD. And then after and during my postdoc, I was thinking about this idea of artifacts, like interactive artifacts as co-performers of practices. And that also is something that I'm still developing and working with. And then I try to stay in touch. But mainly this is on the empirical level with people who also study everyday life and its resource intensity from a practices perspective.
So this is great. You notice my anthropology hat. That's because I'm interested in tribes and groups and these kinds. So you mentioned being part of the design community. That's your main home.
Yeah.
But in terms of practice theory, you're not on your own, or are you on your own, or who do you work with or think about?
Yeah. So I have a couple of PhDs. So one of them you met, Dirk, and then Emilia and Piet. They're also my PhDs, and they followed your course. So I guess that's a way of staying in touch with what's happening in practice theory through my PhD students. Another one is going to start in January. So I will probably also stimulate him to go to the course.
Excellent.
So really that's good. One way.
Yeah.
And then I've started joining. There's a Future Earth working group on social change beyond consumerism, and I joined that last year. And from this year, I'm co-chairing it together with Claire Houlihan. And that's also a group of people who, like me, use practice theory to think about the resource intensity of everyday life and how through policy, through design, this can be shaped and reshaped.
Great. So it's really nice to see where ideas of practice travel to, and this is one excellent example. So you've had a look at our map and talk about travel. Where would you like us to go next? Who would you like us to talk with next?
Yeah, so the person I want to suggest is Marlene Sahakian. And I believe it's the University of Geneva where she is. And actually I'm planning to travel to her in February for a visit. But I'm really inspired by her work. She's also part of the Social Change Beyond Consumerism working group. She was the co-chair before me. So yeah, I would be really interested to hear her and to see her on this map as well.
Okay, great. Well, we'll try to get to Geneva then. As we go on our travels, which may be to Geneva, we've got a few other suggestions in our files. But we're collecting souvenirs. So would it be a pancake from Utrecht or something else?
No, as a designer, I want to give you a design.
Okay.
And actually, it's called a design fiction. So this is a method that I work with to envision how life could be different. And the one I have for you is called a living shirt. So my current project is about the future of summer comfort in Dutch households. And the idea is to think about what can design do while lock-in of air conditioning hasn't fully happened in the Netherlands, but it's going on. And you can see the spreading of air conditioning happening. But is there something we can do before this is before the social scientists can come in and say, oh, everything has gone wrong? We as designers want to anticipate this before it happens and hopefully do something about this. And part of this project has been to think about alternative ways of dealing with heat. And living shirt is an example of a shirt that contains plants, air plants, and they live of the sweat of the wearer of the shirt. And the idea is that this shirt helps to question the negative image of sweating as a very effective way of actually dealing with heat that the body already has. You don't need any technology for that. So
well, that's great. The boat often goes to hot countries, so I'm sure we need this thing.
Yes. Okay. So I will send you a living shirt.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Lenneke, and we're on our way.
Yeah. Okay. Enjoy your travels and say hi to those that you meet.
Okay, we will do.
Thank you,
Okay.
Lenneke.
Thank you.
It was
Bye-bye.
great talking to you.
Okay.